Hi there! Have you ever wondered how clear communication with your spouse will help the sexual intimacy in your marriage? That's what we're talking about right now. I'm Mary Whitman Ortiz, Christian sex educator, relationship coach, and author. I've been helping people to grow the connection in their relationship for over 20 years. On this channel, we talk about everything you need for greater sexual intimacy in marriage. Please subscribe and check us out every Friday for a new video. On today's video, we're talking about clear communication with your spouse and how that will help your marriage and your sexual intimacy. And you may say, Mary, duh, we know that. But is it happening? And why isn't it happening to the degree that you want it to happen? So I'm going to give you some really clear things because we're in the middle of a series that says, you know, you have healthy sexual intimacy in marriage if. And clear communication is just one of those things on a checklist that I provided. There are 5 of them, and I hope that you are following the whole series so that you get every tool that you need. I love providing checklists. I love providing ways that you can measure what's happening in my marriage, in my sexual intimacy right now so that you can improve it. And this week's message gives you lots of ways to measure so you can make the changes that you want. First of all, I'm going to give you 3 assumptions that happen in regards to communication. Just get ready to laugh at yourself because it's coming. First of all, you think, you see it like I do. It's like the way you perceive the world, you assume your spouse perceives it exactly the same way. Number 2, you know what I want and you want the same thing. Ooh, that one had a bit of a sting to it, didn't it? How about this third one? You're intentionally disagreeing with me just to mess with me. Does that ever go on in your thoughts? Yes. So those are things, it's just human nature to make those assumptions, but none of those are true. So we can't function from a default mode if you're going to have clear communication, and clear communication will help inside the bedroom as well as outside of the bedroom. So let's figure out what to do. And now I want to share with you 2 needs that are ongoing within your marriage, within your sexual intimacy. So first of all, husbands can feel rejected when they are refused. And this is a big deal. And the wives may not be choosing to refuse them. They just have some things that need to happen. So it's more about the wife than the husband. But if there's confusion around that and then rejection sets in, so that's just another obstacle to get around in communication. A second need that's going on is for the wives, and they can feel objectified if it seems like everything is just about their body, because they want the whole picture. They want to feel like they've been heard and not just seen, not just for what their body does for you. All right, so we have assumptions, we have needs, but let's get to some steps because we want to make changes. So I have 4 steps for you. Step number 1, make time for talks, the big talks and the small talks. So the daily check-ins are awesome. The daily praises and encouragement are awesome. But you also need to be very intentional about conversations that might be kind of tough. And certainly if you've lived through coronavirus, pandemic, and all the shifts that have gone on in the world, and we've had to talk more seriously about health and finances and world issues, then talking deeply about sexual intimacy needs is right up there. And you need tools. You need tools and you need time to have these talks. Number 2, your second step is to value what your spouse has said. To value what is important to them. It might not be important to you. Ooh, I know. But if it's important to your spouse, then you have done a really great act of love by showing that it's also important to you. Your third step is to listen for the heart in the conversation over the issue. So sometimes this falls where husbands want to solve the problem and wives just want you to listen. And it can go both ways, but the goal is to find out what's really going on, because maybe the one issue that came up was not the ultimate issue. So listen for the heart. And then the fourth step, consider your words, your tone, and your body language. All of those things affect your communication inside the bedroom and outside the bedroom. And if that wasn't enough, now I have one challenge for you. And this is going to wrap it all up. The challenge is, can you see sexual intimacy as something more than sexual intercourse? Can you see sexual intimacy as something more than sexual intercourse? So, of course, that's how God designed the perfect fit for husbands and wives, for their bodies to come together. There's amazing goodness and blessing and fun and delight there in the actual encounter of intercourse. But there is so much more. And God's design is for this wholeness and this oneness and this connection that extends beyond that encounter. So that is my challenge for you. Now, I know we opened up the proverbial can of worms, right? And having those deep talks might be tough. So that's why I would love to encourage you to get my books. Why can't I talk to him about sex? Why can't I talk to her about sex? Because in that I have a list of potential blocks to intimacy. These could be messages that your family passed down. These could be some messages that were shared through the church that maybe you want to be objective in how you process. And so not only do I have questions for you to walk through, I also have a template that you can complete on those deep, meaningful things you want your spouse to know to bring both of you to a closer place. And I really encourage you to take that step and to dive in, to schedule that deep talk that's going to be amazing for your sexual intimacy. Thanks so much for joining me today. And remember, Father God wants to lavish his love on every area of your life, including sexual intimacy in marriage.